A viewer from Clearbrook and a viewer from Bruton want to talk about budget surpluses. The viewer from Clearbrook says, why raise taxes when we've got a $1 billion surplus? And the viewer from Bruton says, what are the odds the 2014 legislature can resist the urge to spend all that money, instead put some of it away in a solid rainy day fund? All right, what are we going to do with the surplus? Who wants to take a run at that? Representative Radinovich?
So let's assume, for the sake of argument, that the February forecast, which will be next week, assumes that there's about a $1.1 billion surplus. Right now, and who knows, it could be more, it could be less, but that's what we're working with based on the November numbers. I think that it's good to stock the rainy day fund, but we should keep in mind that the previous legislature, I think, faced about a $6 billion deficit. And so, I mean, you could apply that rainy day fund in one fell swoop and have it wiped out, and then there you are. So if you have disaster, emergency things come up after that, you still have to consider it. I think that there's going to be a solid discussion about the business-to-business taxes. I'm in particular favor of examining the farm service repair tax and also the broadband or the telecommunications equipment tax, which impacts broadband development in rural places in Minnesota. I think that, if I anticipate what my colleagues across the table might say, it's that, you raise taxes too much and then you should give the money back to them. Well, I think that in 8 of the last 10 years, we've faced budget deficits, and we've responded in nearly every instance with cutting. That's what the axe on your shirt came from, as I remember, in the Health and Human Service budget. I mean, we've cut billions of dollars, as you well know, and that's adversely impacted schools across Minnesota, local government across Minnesota. In that time, we've seen property taxes double. And so a cut isn't really a cut if you just shift the cost onto someone else. An example of that, is in the K-12 budget, or in the higher ed budget, where students are now paying 2/3 of their tuition costs instead of 1/3 just a generation ago. And so you can't just, I think, assume that from here on out we're going to run budget surplus. I think that we are going to, deal with some cycles like we've dealt with in the past, and I think that we should be careful in how much of the money we send back. And personally, if there's going to be some back, I think that we should maybe target it towards a middle-class tax cut and, in effect, make the tax rates in Minnesota more progressive.
Representative Abel, your thoughts?
None of the money in the budget is free. It didn't fall out of the sky. We also rely heavily on federal funding to support our budgets. And if you add up all the budgets, the health budget that's supporting the Minnesota Care Change, it's going to be short by $1.4 billion come 2021. And that's not baked into the numbers. So just to point out that there's some of these challenges coming to us. It's really tempting to take money that you have and buy things that you want. But it's important to remember that goes into the base budget. And every year that goes forward. And so you have to generate more money. And if you carefully look at the budget items for the different topic areas, you have to be able to pay for what you decided. And the human service one of all has exploded just lately with the expansion of the Medicaid program. And just so you know, in the cuts we did, we call them cuts, we reduced the growth by half. And so in a time of crisis, and we did such a good job that it didn't come up in the election, which is unheard of, that you can make these changes, you cut $1 billion a year, and it doesn't get turned into a postcard. And so if you look at what you're spending carefully, you can get more mileage out of it. And in many cases, people got better services with less money being spent on a more modernized method, speaking of facsimiles and telegrams. And so that's
I'm the one speaking of facsimiles. Nobody else.
Sorry. And that's what I think we need really to do. And even though there's a surplus, make sure everything you're buying is sensible, is at a good value. And it is something we would choose to buy if we were short of money. And then you can really put the money where you choose to go. If we decide we want to have a lower tuition for people to go to college, which is an arguably very good goal, to have more people to go, especially the minorities, so they can be all that they can be. But prudence and restraint is hard sometimes if you're a legislator.
Senator Benson?
I would be in favor, in fact, of repealing the farm equipment repair tax, the telecom tax, but also the warehouse tax, which hasn't been enacted yet. And if we did an early tax bill, then those warehousing companies could get a little more certainty, a little more comfort. And
the tax has been enacted, but it's not in effect yet.
It is not in effect until April. They could be certain of their business structure going forward. You talked about property taxes. After the Republican budget was enacted, we saw the lowest average growth in levies in like 15 years, something like that. And the rates for this year haven't been certified yet, but it looks like 4 out of 5 cities had significant increases in their property taxes. We'll get those numbers at the end of May. So in spite of all the spend, the tax relief that you did for cities, LGA, property taxes are locally controlled. They make the decisions. The legislature has marginal impact on property taxes. So, but as far as the surplus, I think we need to repeal those business-to-business taxes, federal conformity, so our marriage penalty, we're one of the few states that has a marriage penalty. The feds don't even have it. We're one of 2 states that have a gift tax penalty. We don't allow employer tuition to be deducted. It's counted as income. We don't allow adoption expenses to be deducted. It's counted as income. When an employer assists you with your adoption, Minnesota taxes it as income, even though the feds don't allow it. So there's a lot of really practical things we can do for Minnesota families with that money.
You know, I'd propose that we be conservative with this surplus, that we show restraint, that we get off that revenue roller coaster that's plagued Minnesota for the last decade, and think to the future. And I think that's why the 2013 legislative session was so important, because I believe it solved our budget problems for the foreseeable future. And if we make prudent choices moving forward, we're going to be able to talk about education reform, about investing in infrastructure like roads and bridges and telecom that I talked about earlier. And also, I think what we need is a comprehensive discussion of tax reform in Minnesota. Those are conversations that are very difficult to have when you're going budget deficit to budget deficit and making short-term decisions like we have for the last decade in Minnesota. So I'm really optimistic that the decisions we made in 2013 will open the door for meaningful conversations about those sorts of reforms. You know, if we look at what we should do with the surplus, so I think federal tax conformity is certainly something that we should focus on, and those business-to-business taxes. Clearly, you know, we can do better things than impose those. And I think it's clear that was a mistake of 2013. I think it's important for us to admit that, and I think that we can fix that early. But I think when you look at the impact of 2013 and 2014 moving forward, we've balanced our budget once and for all. We're able to think big about reforms moving forward and get past that partisanship and that short-term budgeting that has really plagued us for the last decade. I don't think that we can overstate the importance of that session and what that's going to mean for us moving forward. And so hopefully we're able to, you know, to chart a slow growth curve in terms of our investments with local government aid or funding education, and have a more meaningful partnership between state and local government so that they can expect, they can predict, you know, what the state's going to contribute in terms of aids and tax accordingly. And I think that revenue roller coaster that we were on, that's something we never want to replicate again. And I think prudent budgeting and handling this surplus in a responsible way is going to set us up for success moving forward.
Senator Benson had mentioned the marriage penalty, and I just wanted to point out that I've been working very hard to avoid the marriage penalty. But beyond that, you know, Representative Abler also mentioned, you know, that they had cut a significant amount of money out of the HHS budget in the previous biennium, and that it went unnoticed. And I think that one of the reasons it went unnoticed was because the only thing that anybody talked about during the last election, or one of the major things that was talked about during the last election, was the fact that billions of dollars were shifted away from our K-12 schools. And so it was an instance of using a gimmick to balance a budget. And when we came into this legislative session, and I understand that the schools will get their money back, but in this year, we balanced the budget for 2 years and out into the tails for 4 years. And I think that Senator Schmidt is totally right that you have to be on solid financial footing if you want to make the comprehensive and long-term decisions that you want to make about the direction that the state should be headed in.
Senator Benson, 15 seconds on the school shift.
The school shift was House File 1, and they didn't pay it back. So it was a good talking point for the election, but when it came down to it, and they shifted $400 million out of the Health Care Access Fund.